All right, and we'll take a look at the cover here. So this basically goes over the top here and gives you some extra protection on that raw carbon fiber. So this is great for back in the trails if you've got trees dragging over that and stuff like that. You've got horizontal and vertical straps. So over there we've got a Velcro side, and basically these come over to the side into a C channel. So there's 3 per side and then 2 on the front and the back. So if we hop up to the front here, you'll see that basically you undo this Velcro. There's a tensioner strap here. So if I loosen this, I can get up under here, and there's this like U or C clip. So basically you see it from the side, that goes into the channel of the frame. So basically it locks in, and then you pull it taut and then Velcro it down. So really simple, easy design. It hooks up really nice into here. Basically you've got elastic straps on the sides. So this is pretty waterproof on the top here. There's some weird design quirks like this here. Your latches hang below. Not a big problem like on this side. But if you can see here, this is where like your ladder mounts go on this side. If we go over to the other side, really you're gonna see better. So one thing I don't love is there's a huge gap. So this is my ladder side. I put in the extended brackets, and obviously you can see there's a big gap here. So you're gonna get water in here, and then overall long-term, like this is going to rip. So if you look here, actually I had this cover flipped around. The first time I took it out on the trail, I actually ripped the cover. Where those mounts are, so you can see there's holes in it. So long term, this is probably not going to hold up great. I mean, it works by giving some added protection, but really what they should do is there should be some extra fabric in this section here that allows this to sit over these without extending it. You still have that elastic band, but if we had some extra fabric, that would really solve the problem. So definitely kind of a weird design quirk, but you can see how it fits underneath the channel there. I mean, definitely works for what it is, but I don't see this holding up great long term. All right, and so to get this off, basically I've got to undo the tension on those 2 straps and then the ones in the front here, and we'll loosen everything up. So I'll go ahead and get this all off, and we'll show you what it looks like once it's open up. All right, and this is with the cover off it. So you can see pretty slick top here. So this has got that carbon fiber top, which makes it super lightweight, along with some of the other components they use to reduce weight in it. But basically you've got latches on the front section on both sides. We have our ladder mounts here, so you can do it on the driver's side, which obviously I opted against because I have an awning here, or the passenger side. So these also come with a spare set of brackets that is extended to clear the vehicle. So I had to use those on the other side. I'll show you. But yeah, I will not be using this side. I also do wish there was a plate that basically I could just cover these up and not use these anymore. That would be kind of cool. But yeah, we're just gonna leave them on for now. And I'll walk over here and show you how this is set up on the driver's side. So you've got 2 latches there. Also a ladder mount option on the back here. Again, I won't be using this because of the way my rig is set up. But these have those extended brackets. So basically that's gonna allow the vehicle to clear the ladder as it comes out here. So I will get this opened up and show you how that works. All right, so we're gonna open this up. So one thing I will say is consider the latches if you have an awning here. So mine, I got lucky and I have just enough clearance here, but some people have reported that these latches will not open on their awning side because of interference. So Inspired is apparently coming out with shorter latches so that this won't be an issue, but definitely something to consider if you've got an awning, either bringing the tent up or dropping that awning down to clear this. So basically you have a locking pin and then these flip up. So I'll come back and really loosen these up, but basically we'll walk around and we will undo the locking pin and release the tension on these. And we'll come back and do the last one. All right, so we're on the back side here now, and I've found it easiest to release these and then go back and do the sides. So what I'm gonna do is basically push a little bit down and then release the tension on that latch. Same thing over here. So pull it down and release the tension. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the sides. I'm gonna cut out the video on this section because it's a little bit hard to do that and shoot at the same time, but basically we're gonna do the same thing on the sides and then lift it up. All right, so all of the latches are free. It is not released on its own yet. So if I go in here and basically just lift it up, the tent is going to deploy. So just give a quick walk around here and then we'll get it set up. So you can see, got the nice gas struts there. Carbon fiber looks awesome. All right, we'll go get this set up and come back to you. All right, and here it is all set up. So you can see I've got the ladder here on the side. So basically that just latches in and it sits right on top of there. So it will lift up real easy. I did have to loosen these bolts in here to get this to kind of align correctly. It wasn't aligned right out the box. So you may have to adjust the location of those to get those anchor hook points to mount in. So on this side, you can see we've got the full mesh in there. I went ahead and closed the other side to give you a perspective of when the total rain fly is closed. So this is fully closed. So if you're in inclement weather or it's really cold and you want to keep that rain or just that cold weather out, it's great for that. You do have these flaps on the sides here to pass through stuff like a diesel heater or just as a pass through. But got your gas struts. Again, got your latch there, a ladder mount if you want it on this side. You've got your traditional poles that most rooftop tents have. This rain fly, I know there were some concerns about prior models of this drooping, so I haven't had any issues currently with this one. I think they angled these out a little bit more, so I don't believe that's going to be an issue moving forward. But if we get up in here, so I've got it all the way open, you've got a nice little nest here that can house stuff. I've just got a Luminoodle straddled across the top there to give some lighting. Got another bag system there. And again, those pass-throughs are on both sides for, you know, a heater or whatever you may want to put in. You can see here I've got the tensioner rope. So basically you want to make sure that that is across when you go to close this because it pulls everything in. And then there's one on the side up in the front there that's going to loop around the outside and all the way up to the front. So this is an inflatable mattress. So you've got an inflate and a deflate mode on this. Underneath there is a condensation mat, which is really nice. So this was a little tricky in that you have to have this totally deflated to get the tent to close up real nice. So one of the big differences between this style tent and like what I've traditionally had, non-hardshell, is I'm used to being able to put bedding and stuff like that and leave it in here. This, you cannot do that. There's not the space for it. And this has to be deflated very, very well. So basically I have to roll it up, deflate the whole thing, and then push it back down to get this to close right. But pretty awesome. There is a mesh screen that comes down here as well. So you can close this fully off to keep the mosquitoes and bugs out. But yeah, I mean, a pretty slick setup overall. There is clips on the back here. So you can see that clip hanging. There's another one tucked in somewhere up here. So we've got boot bags that also can hang off the back here. So I've got those down in this bag here. But yeah, you've got boot bag mounts either there on the side or same thing over here. So you can really use those in different locations. This boot bag mount happens to be right in the way of the ladder. So kind of quirky in that really it's not ideal. It should be shifted over to the side there. So I didn't love that. We've been using this one just because it doesn't really work well with that. I happen to have a ladder here, so it's nice. Actually been going up with this ladder this way more often than using the side ladder just because the way my rig is set up. But yeah, pretty cool. This is pretty comfortable. The material on the bottom, I was really curious about how this, you know, was made and lightweight and all that. So obviously you got a waterproof seal all the way around. This is a fabric material. I assume it's the same material that the tent's made out of, or pretty close. So it does have the bars across. You can see definitely something like if you take this mattress out, you're not going to want to step on this because it can break it. But I have noticed like this material will get wet. It hasn't leaked through, but it will like hold water. So I don't know if it's not totally waterproof or what, but basically those bars go all the way across to give it support. And then you've got this soft material there. So definitely been used to like a hard material on the bottom here that's totally like watertight. So we'll see what, you know, happens with that and how it holds up over time. But yeah, I mean, overall, pretty happy with the setup. Definitely super lightweight, easy to install. This is the standard size, so this fits really well on a GX roofline. So to give you a perspective, I thought about going with the XL, but I really didn't want to hang out on the front or the back. So this would be your standard size, and obviously got it on a GX 470. So I'll get it started to pack up here and show you kind of how that works. So one little tip I want to point out is I have seen videos where they fold these completely flat in. I haven't really loved that because then you've got to get up here and, you know, zip it all up, and you can already have bugs in here by then. So what I'll do is I'll leave the mesh closed, and I'll take this, and instead of the fabric hanging out on the inside, fold it on the inside. So that way it's not flopping out on the outside. So sounds simple, but something that took me a few tries to figure out the best way. So fold your fabric on the inside if you're going to leave these halfway zipped or halfway closed. And then this is also the bag that it comes with for those rain fly poles. So basically your poles go in here. I just leave this in here, so it just lays in here. Easy storage on that. All right, and then to bring it down, you'll grab this rope. But again, fold these in. Don't let them flying out like that. Fold them in. It'll make it a lot easier when you go to pull it down. But basically you take this strap and you grab it and you pull it all the way down. So I'm gonna do some tucking to show you how it ends up fully being in, but basically we got to tuck in the sides, this excess fabric in the back here, and then we should be able to latch it down pretty easily. All right, so I've got it all loosely latched. Basically they're hooked, but it's not set all the way down. So one thing you want to do is make sure that you get all the fabric tucked real nice into the sides and the back here. So, because if you don't, it's not going to seal well. And then basically what you do is once it's there, you just lock these suckers in. So just take it down, boom, and those lock pins automatically go into place. So we'll do the same on both sides. Pretty easy. And same deal here. So once that's all taken care of, you're all set and done. So you can see, pretty nice, tight seal. There's a little bit of gap there. So, I mean, as far as being like fully waterproof, and see even some of my fabric came popping back out. So you really got to watch that. But like, I am cautious of whether or not this is going to be fully waterproof over time. I've been running it with the cover more often than not. I did have a couple day stint where I was out and left it off. I didn't get really hardly any water in there. There was a little bit, but not much. So, I mean, even, you know, traveling a bunch, being out for a weekend, I didn't get a whole lot of water in there. But definitely, like, there is some opportunity to make this seal a little bit tighter. One thing too that I found out after my first few trips was these can be adjusted. So definitely I had to go around and adjust every one of these so that the latch would actually pull tight, because before there was a pretty big gap in between here. The other thing I'll point out now that I'm adjusting is basically it comes with these rubber strips. So when it's sent to you, it doesn't have anything in this channel. They just basically send you a spool of this rubber material. So you have to cut accordingly and fill it in. I mean, it definitely gives it a nicer finisher look. I think the idea is that there's going to be accessory mounts on these over time. So you're going to be able to put brackets and stuff on here to mount maybe things to the sides. So, I mean, it works, but these tend to pop out pretty easy. So something to be aware of. And I had to cut them all. Obviously my gaps aren't great because I did run a little bit short on material on this, but overall, you know, it's a solution that works. Definitely, I mean, could be better, but at the end of the day, I think it's more aesthetics than anything. So basically that's it. So if you got any questions or anything, definitely throw them in the comments down there. I'm gonna get the cover put back up and get the ladder put back in that bag, throw this up on top of it, and then I usually just put the bag in the trunk. So this ladder is just like most of your standard ladders. You know, it's telescoping. You bring in both of these and then it drops down. So super easy to work with. It's got a Velcro strap on it. So pretty self-explanatory on that. But yeah, there are a few adjustments you'll have to make on the latches and the brackets and things like that. Oh, another thing to point out as far as the way it mounts. Let's look at that real quick. So basically I used this particular bracket. So they sent two different ones. This one worked for my square tubing. I did have to buy longer bolts because the bolts they sent were not long enough for my particular application. If you see in here too, I've got extra washers in here. I actually need to change these bolts out to be threaded further up, so they only thread part way, and I had to get it by for the last trip I had. So definitely gonna be changing these out, but you may need additional bolts to get it to fit on your rack setup, depending on what bars you're running. But yeah, I mean, metal powder coated bracket, it's got a rubber gasket on it, slips into a channel, so pretty straightforward. All right, well, that'll do it. This is the inspired Overland rooftop tent, the carbon fiber model, and the hardshell. So definitely check these guys out.